Jesus mentioned, he said, according to as it is spoken, all the steps and the ways and the path and actions of his life were all in accordance to prophecy. And in everything, even including every move he has to make in prayer, is to seek the will of God. Even at the time he wanted to die, when he went to pray, he did not deny mentioning the situation he was in, humanly speaking, but also in prayer. He closed it with a statement that nevertheless, let thy will be done, not my will. Thank God that in the book of Hebrew was written, and it's still written there, that I learned obedience by the things he suffered, and he humbled himself unto death. Though he could deny it, but he subjected himself to that will. And because he fulfilled the prophecy concerning his life on earth, and he walked all through his life in seeking and doing what is the will of God for his life. And we indeed can see, as we saw in Hebrew, that because he walked all through his life in God's will and according to his prophecy, also knowing that it is in the prophecy and the will of God that same person, Jesus, becomes the Savior of the world. But while he was living, he aligned himself with the prophecy. In other words, he aligned himself with the will of God. Then God said, to fulfill his true purpose, like Isaiah prophesied, and many more, that because of what he did, that God now gave him a name above every other name, that at the mention of his name, every knee shall bow down, every tongue shall confess that Christ is Lord. Even at death, he rose up back again and is alive forevermore. We realize that before any man on earth, when anyone died, that's it. But because of him playing out well in walking in the will of God and the prophecy concerning his life, even death couldn't have any hold on him. He was glorified, he remains glorified, and he's coming back because he's alive forevermore. I believe that there is an ending, a better ending that God has for everything he created. Hence why he said, the ending of a matter is better than the beginning. I believe that our ending, that God intended it, and still intends it to be glorious, to end well. But I also believe it will be very hard for any man to believe it will end well outside living in the will of God. I also believe that it will be hard for any man to end well if they are living outside the prophecy of God. So this is my appeal to you. And this will come first in a question. Are you living in the will of God? Have you even thought of the will of God concerning your decisions? And if you've never heard of the will of God, today you're hearing about it. I will appeal that you look further into it. That, Lord, what is your will for me? In other words, what is the secret of my life in you, hidden in you, that is now your will, that is now what I have to live for, to know, like a blueprint. Paul said in Colossians, all things are made by him and for him, and in him all things consist, visible or invisible, thrones or dominion, things in heaven and on earth, all things made by him and for him, and in him all things consist. And without him, nothing that it is will be.